Oh, baby. Welcome to another 15-minute to 20-minute Alex Olinger podcast for the week of Sunday, November 17th. And we're fucking here. And we're fucking doing it. You know, every show I've done recently, one sad short man gives me a fist bump after, or sends his girlfriend over, who's equally as short, to say, that audience didn't know what they were talking about. You were actually really funny. And to that girl and that guy at the previous show that did that, and to all the short fellas before who have quietly fist bumped me and not um, participated in the crowd work whatsoever, I thank you. Thanks for hiding in the back and letting me die up there alone and then coming to congratulate me on a set that only you guys really related to or laughed at afterwards. Thanks. I appreciate that. I appreciate every fan that I have. I also appreciate that one day I will sell out a theater of only 5'3" men and their 5-foot even girlfriends. And it'll look like a fucking Oompa Loompa festival or something like that out there. That's good. Yep. And so what have I been doing, man? What do I want to talk about? I've been trying to fix up the brakes on my car, which I know how to do, but everything on my car is really fucking rusted, and it's been a real pain in the ass. And it's also made me develop a new hatred. I hate Autozone so much. It's a terrible place. I hate going in there. I ordered new rotors for my brakes, and I was going to go replace them, and they said that they had it online, and then I go in there, and they didn't even have it in the store, even though online it said that they were there. And I drove all the way. I made my girlfriend drive me all the way there. Get in there. There's a stoned 15-year-old behind the register who looks really nervous. Probably because he's really high. He's about 16 years old. That's who's working there now. No one wants to work there. No one wants to go inside. And now it's just 16-year-old kids working there. Latino kids with that I don't know. What's the Latino bowl cut? You know what I'm talking about. It's the bangs all the way down in the front. His name's Junior or something. He calls you bro, and he has no idea where any of the parts are. And that's AutoZone. It's completely dystopian in there. Everybody there has an IQ lesser than mine, which says a lot. If I'm in a place and I'm like, man, these people really aren't keeping up, you know there is there's a problem there. There's an IQ issue. Just me walking in by myself, getting frustrated. All right. Good. I thought I'd have better riffs. I don't even like the name. Thought I had better riffs today. I don't even know. I don't really. I'm banging these out, man. They say you get better. I'm trying to get better. How long does it take to get better at something? 10,000 hours? After 10,000 podcasts, I'll be a podcast master. After 10,000 podcasts, 10,000 weeks of this shit, there won't even be an internet or a species left. AI will have wiped us off the planet. Donald Trump will be declared king of the world. And there will be some Elon Neuralink thing keeping him alive. You know what would be crazy is if he gets they just get rid of all elections entirely. He keeps running, and then Elon Musk creates an AI microchip of Donald Trump, so even when he's dead, we can't get rid of him. And then he just is running the world from a really rude supercomputer. That would be, and it has the giant supercomputer. I guess the computers aren't big like that anymore. I would imagine if Donald Trump got put into a computer, he would make it. He would want it to like look big on the outside, like an '80s computer, or maybe like a robot that looks like him. Or what would his robot look like? He built a robot with the body of Matthew McConaughey, but still like the Donald Trump hair. And that's what he would be walking around in to occupy. That's what space he would occupy. That would be crazy. I could see the Republicans cooking up some shit like that. Like, let's freeze him. Let's Walt Disney this guy. We don't want any other candidates forever and ever. Download his consciousness onto a floppy disk or like a fucking microchip and plug that sucker in to Elon's new government AI module, which will be running the healthcare system or the efficiency department. I think that's what would happen. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Anyways, back to Autozone. I don't think you have to know Autozone is fucked up too because of the name. This was a note I took for myself. The name of Autozone does not spell out you're going to get great service. O'Reilly Auto Parts, equally as trashy, but I feel better when I go in there just because it has a specific name. It's just AutoZone. It's like if you went to like a grocery store and the name of the grocery store is just food area. And you're like, "Hey, do you have grapes?" And some stoned 16-year-old is like, "I don't know if we have grapes." And you're like, "Why the fuck am I coming here?" And you're like, "Well, you come here because there's food. We have there's food in this area. If you want to try to get some food." You're like, "Nah, I need specific food for ingredients for a specific meal that's crucial to my life." And they're like, "Well, buddy, you should have gone to HEB, somewhere else with a specific name, run by specific people." Also, HEB, sketchy. HEB is sketchy. Not like it's like dangerous, but I feel like there's like evil corporate overlords running that shit. I feel like every HEB has like a big basement, and somebody's having a really bad time in that basement. There's just somebody working there that's not getting paid or is not documented in any sense of the word. That's how I feel every time I go into an HEB. What's going on down there? I hate the grocery store. And I'm not big on it. I am being lazy about this, but just fly the shit to me. Just drone it at this point. The traffic's bad. I'm being a bad citizen. I'm actively asking for AI to take over the world. But, man, just fly it to my house, man. I want toothpaste. Just send it on a tiny little alien helicopter. You know? If we could get, maybe we could put those, like, mail tubes all over the world. You know? Like those hydraulic tubes you used to put the mail in. You know? Suck it up, send it. That'd be kind of cool. Wasn't that what Elon wanted to do with his tunnels? Shoot people like mail underground, as if that wouldn't present any issues or have any accidents whatsoever. You have to be a fucking dumbass to be the first one on that before they get the kinks worked out. But also, I don't know. I go to the state fair, so who am I kidding? You know? I've ridden the Fireball, the chainsaw. Names that, names of shit you shouldn't get on. That's what I've done that. Man, these podcasts lately, I'm not. Well, your heart's not in it, Alex. If your heart was in it and you had the motivation, perhaps you put out a better podcast. Look, I'm getting around to it, okay? Okay? Voice of self-doubt in my head, critical observer in my head, I'm getting around to it. One day I'm going to enjoy fucking doing this. I promise you I will. I'll have a good podcast that's not a bunch of rambly bullshit. But right now I'm not doing it today. I'm not. I stayed up a little too late last night watching that reality TV show Outlast. It's like two teams. No, they divide into teams, and the last team standing for survival in the Alaskan wilderness is they win $1 million, and they like split the money, and I love it. I think it's one of the funniest shows I've ever seen because you really get to see people immediately spiral, and they got the classic tropes. There's always like they pick great people. They pick somebody who's like offensive, like goes on the offensive to the other teams and tries to take them out almost to like a criminal level. Somebody's like stealing stuff on the first day already. They get booted out and they're like, that's how you have to play the game. This is a game. This isn't a tea party. This isn't making friends. We're out here to win $1 million, and this is a game. I'm just here to play the game. And if you don't like me playing the game, well, fuck you, And then you got like they always have like a couple bros. They have like a good amount of like bros that are like they show up in camo. They're like, I'm from Texas, and in Texas, we know how to survive. All right, they don't in Texas. In Texas, we don't have health care. We don't have education. All we got in Texas is a piece of wood and a little bit of homemade butter. I just got wood and a little homemade butter that my grandpappy made. Used to slab that butter on a piece of handmade bread. That was back in the year 1990. I don't know what a computer is. I've never seen a computer. I just go out in the woods. We don't play Texas like that. Texas. And I love how people in Texas act like they're like some part of some different country. And it's like you're not. No one gives a fuck that you're from Texas. Well, I'm Texas. I'm from Texas, buddy. We make 8-year-olds sprint at each other in football gear, and we make sure it's helmet to helmet. You know what I'm saying? CTE, 10 years old. I had CTE at 10 years old. You know why? Because I'm from Texas. If you can't play the game, get out. This is Texas. We have no infrastructure. If it's 35 degrees, the whole city shuts down. All the power in Texas goes out because our power grid's from the year 1850. Our power grid is a giant Oklahoma, Idaho spud with 2 electrical cords plugged into it. We just plug that shit up. That's how I light my house because it's fucking Texas. Yeah. So they got the Texas guys, and they're like Texas is in like every other word. They say, well, we don't play like that in Texas. You're not going to steal my water cans, buddy. We don't do that. In really nice camo. They have really nice camo, obviously. And then you always got some girls. One of them's like manipulative, of course, and doesn't do anything. She's just like says she does a bunch of shit and really just does nothing. I'm a bow hunter. Can you put this bow together for me? Okay. Okay, lady who's a bow hunter. Can't put the bow together. 'Cause you got her, and then there's always a quiet, like, you got the quiet, like, feminist chick who's, like, mad that men are in, like, a good mood at the campsite. They just run around. It's like they just run around. They run around, and they make loud noises, and it's like, I really need a woman here just to, so I can have a conversation in the English language. I just feel very outnumbered in this group on this survival show. I just met everybody 5 minutes ago, but I feel very outnumbered. And I have glasses because I'm a woman. I'm a feminist woman, so I have glasses. Actually, nobody is listening to me, partly due to the fact that I never actually assert myself or speak up, and I let them still do whatever they want, but nobody is listening to me. You know why? Because I'm a woman with glasses. You got that chick, Then you got, like, every time there's, like, a group of people that nobody wants, and they like bond emotionally, and they're kind of the only group of humans that doesn't have like some weird thing going. It's always the rejects are the most normal, cool people, and they're just sitting in a tent at night in 30-degree weather in the middle of Alaska, freezing, but they're like, but we're family now. We've connected, we've bonded. We're fucking family now. And I love it. It's really dumb. It's a dumb show. Something happens every episode. But I really like watching people be pitted against each other for my amusement as I eat DiGiorno pizza in my one-bedroom apartment. And my girlfriend plays Nintendo Switch. That's what I want to see, like, kind of the deepest parts of humanity come out for my own entertainment. It's sort of like it's a civilized a lot of things we do, it feels like, are like civilized versions of just a Roman Colosseum. And I think if TV could get away with it, they would have live footage of people sword fighting to the death. And I think we're well on the way, if we can keep just breaking a little bit more rules every year and like just don't say anything while society's ethics and overall moral principles start to degrade. We'll get there. We'll get to the point where there's two like large fat people beating the shit out of each other to the death so they can like have the better Costco membership at the end of the year. We'll get there. Oh, don't you worry. What's fucked up about the show Outlast is you hear people's stories, and this is kind of just a product of the times in America, but everybody is completely fucked. I mean, their lives are just really messed up. Like, people are like, I need the $1 million because my wife had 85 miscarriages and my house burned down mid-miscarriage, and now we're out on the street. My wife can't. My wife can barely walk now because of the 200 miscarriages she had. And now we're out here. Now we're out here on the street. Then we live in a box. And the other day, a raccoon entered our box and punched my wife in the face repeatedly and stole my child and ran off into the night. And that's why I'm here. Because if I don't have the money, Russian mobsters said they would kill me. They would take my life. They would put my feet in cement and chuck me off a bridge. And then that's like half the people. You got to have the stakes high, My mother's house is going to be foreclosed on. My mother has dementia. I don't have money to take care of her. Everything's a sob story. And then you got one person. And there's like, I'm just here to see what it's like. And that person, they're usually out pretty quick. Yeah, that was cool. Then they just get out, shoot that flare into the sky. All right, man. Yeah, so that's the show. If you like reality TV shows, you could watch that if that's what you want to do with your time. Or you could read a book and try to better yourself, which is what I would recommend. I kind of want to start doing music or maybe like book reviews on this podcast just to give me something to talk about. I mean, it would be cool, but it's like, why do a review of something nobody's like heard about or even put time into? I guess it's good, but I don't know, turn this into like a book podcast. Speaking of books, hosted Speakeasy on Congress last night, and it was a nightmare. We usually do comedy in the back room, and it's a more closed off room with like a stage. It seats 50 people. We've had some really good shows in there. And occasionally, like last night, the bar will just schedule a private event without telling us and put us in the main room. And they had 2 private events, one upstairs in the balcony above the stage where the band plays. So you have an open bar that seats like 100, windows open to one of the busiest streets in downtown Austin. You have people walking in and out, and upstairs you have people bowling. Like right above the stage is people bowling. I can't even hear the audience when they laugh. I can like see their mouths open. I can't even hear them laugh at all. The first two comics, me, cold opening, I eat shit. It's bad. And then the second comic comes up. He gets there. He's like, "Hey, good to be here. I'm on a lot of mushrooms." I was like, "Great. Thank you for the help with this set. I'm glad you're here in your most sober faculties. I'm glad you can really we could really use a guy who's completely intoxicated right now to really set this show off, That rocks, man." But in his defense, he sounded the exact same as when he did his other material. So I was like, there you go, man. Just do it on mushrooms. Also, in his defense, people are just talking and not listening. And you're on a giant band stage yelling out into a bar. The next dude, Daniel Delano, follow him on Instagram. He's fucking hilarious. He was in from Atlanta. He actually, for the room, he fucking smashed. I guess it took like two comics for people to even turn their heads. You know what I mean? And actually pay full attention to the show. But he did great. And then it got to a point after him where they kind of got tired of the show. And then the next comic goes up and she's doing comedy. And you literally couldn't even hear her voice. In the back room, the event that they had, too, was like this book fair. It was like a Texas book festival. Not even a fair, a festival. So there's like 100 people pouring in and out of the room next to the stage, just talking, waiting in line. It was brutal. And at a certain point, it's like, dude, I don't really... If it's that bad, I recently have kind of gotten over, being butthurt or like really being upset if the room is that torched about what happens with my set, Because it really is like a really borderline impossible situation to do comedy in. Not impossible, but it's very, very tough, especially at the cold open, So I don't even worry about it. But it was, it was about as what's the word? Fucking non-conducive. It's probably about as non-conducive as an environment as you could get, doing stand-up. You couldn't even hear this chick on stage. Couldn't even hear the words come out of the microphone. And then the headliner gets up there. He does 20. And he actually did decently because the book festival was, over. And those people left, which was cool. Or I think, no, what were they doing? Upstairs, this bar is 3 different stories. In the top level, you walk all the way up to the roof, and they have a stage and stuff up there too. There's 3 rooms in there with stages for some reason. 3 completely different areas of this bar. We go up there afterwards. We're having a drink. We're just trying to find a place to hang out that wasn't jam-packed with people. And one of the guys I was with wanted to smoke a cigarette. We walk upstairs, and I guess it's the poetry section or whatever's on the book club itinerary. And we just walk out, and there's a bunch of people, dead silence, not talking like they were for the comedy show. And this lady is doing poetry, and she just keeps going, "And there were meatballs, and there were meatballs, and there were meatballs, and there were meatballs." And I turned to my buddies. I was like, let's just get the fuck out of here right now. And then we just walked all the way back down. And we ended up crashing another event there and just walking into this conference. Everybody had name tags, and they didn't even notice that we were there. We just sat down on leather couches and had a good long discussion about comedy. And then I got home fucking 10:30. Just watched that show Outlast till 2 in the morning. Yeah, so what a night. What a great night it was. What a lovely night, man. I enjoyed it. Yep. All right. What do we get? I get 8 views a podcast, so maybe I should start promoting this. maybe cut something into a YouTube short, you know? So I think that'll be it for the day. Fucking riffed it out. Tried to do something here. Good. Good. Yeah. Fuck it. Well, have a good day, everyone. Enjoy your Sunday or your Monday. That's been the podcast. See ya later.